Now look, I'm worried something's changed because I appear to have spent decades being obsessed and on a diet of carbon fibre, skinny foils, high performance boats, canting keels and the rest of it. And yet, every year that I come here to Cowes for the BCYC event, basically the classic event in Cowes, I feel myself being drawn to a bit of this. Varnish, elegant looks, fantastic stories and an incredible atmosphere. I don't quite know what's going on, but I do know that this year is particularly special because apart from having an incredible turnout of boats, it's not raining and it looks even better.
This year's fleet of 42 boats spanned from a pair of 25-foot 9-inch Stellas to the 12-metre Miquette, at 75 foot 6 inches, the largest in the fleet. The oldest was Dorothy, built in 1894, and the newest, Bel Canto, launched in 2022. So as always, there was a wide range of boats to geek out on. And to be honest, it was boat spotters' heaven. The racing was also designed to deliver a mix of formats, from around the Cans to around the island, and a pursuit race in between, for which my ride was aboard the 50-foot Spirit, IO of Dartmouth. But aside from all of this, the one thing you can bank on is that if you are a boat spotter that likes to share stories, you're in good company, because everyone has one. In fact, it's such an important aspect of this event that the organisers work on a 50-50 ratio when it comes to balancing time on the water with social time. Every hour racing means a minimum of an hour socialising, and that means time to tell stories.
I got it in 1989, so I was about 25 at the time. The immortal words of my father were buy a boat before a house, because I'd been brought up on his boat.
Oh, really?
Even conceived on his boat, if you work out where we were for the summer holidays in Holland. And so I've been brought up sailing all my life, and I wanted a boat. And he just said, buy a boat before a house, and buy a big enough boat that then you can have it for life and it fits all your needs.
Sound advice, eh?
It was sound advice if it wasn't good for my bank account. It was good for my soul.
But I mean, she's looking absolutely superb. And the thing that really strikes me about it, it's a very complex boat. I mean, has she always been like this? These boats were simpler, but they were vastly underpowered in light airs. And so what happened for us is, as we started to race, we realised we were competitive at 15 knots, super competitive 18 knots, and awful in no wind. So how do you go to regattas where you just die? So we spent a long time, how do you evolve power, and then you've got too much power very quickly, and how you control it. Right.
And of course, unlike a modern boat, you can hide lines. You can't hide lines, so it all comes back to the cockpit, masters the pit as well, so there's no pit in here.
Right.
And it is a boat that has an awful lot of things to pull. And the other problem, because you've got a very high weight to waterline ratio, you need power, so you have to change gears, you have to change sails all the time, and you have to rotate them and get it just right if you want to sail above your handicap or to it. It requires a lot of crew, so it's quite unique. It's not 2 people sailing and everyone's on the rail. It's 13 people who have to coordinate all the time to make it work. And then in 2002, after the big American centenary, Tim Blackman and I had a conversation. He said, why don't we start a club? And I said, great, you can be the Commodore, I'll be the Vice Commodore, you can look after the socials, and I really believe we should have super fair racing, because people will optimise their boats to Channel Handicap IRC, and then we'll promote a healthy classic fleet that didn't really exist at that time. And 24 years later, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very impressive fleet. And I mean, people race seriously.
There are some serious boats with serious crews who are doing everything they can. That if you insert them into a modern fleet, we were 5th on the round the island race in our division, and we would have been 1st if the smaller boats hadn't gone over the sandbanks and we couldn't.
Right.
So we are competitive against modern boats like Whooper is.
Yeah.
So it's no coincidence that classic boats under IRC have become competitive within the general fleet.
I suppose it's a stupid question, but I mean, is that part of the appeal though? It's just to say, look,
being bloody minded.
Look, look what we can do.
Look, I think there's something. I mean, okay, we all have that probably gene in us, and we're all very competitive. So doing the impossible is really exciting for me. Sailing a heavy boat, so it's competitive in 8 knots of breeze, is a huge challenge we've risen to. It's taken years. So I love the impossibility of the process, and how you get to it through understanding your machine and how it operates, and the variabilities if you change your boom E-fitting, E-length, what does that do, and your P&E dynamics. You have a relationship with something you're evolving. You're really becoming a designer and an owner.
Yeah.
And that is immensely rewarding. So I think that appeals to people that are thought thought-provoking and creative
Yeah.
and innovative, and you can't do that in a modern boat. It's a much more fixed structure, fixed versions. So I think there's a good reason why you see innovation in an older classic boat.
So I'm James Youngman, and we've owned Lutine of Helford for the last 11 years. She is a beautiful classic yawl built by Lloyd's of London in 1952. So she was rebuilt down in Gweek in just 1999, 2000, and as a boatyard project boat. The boatyard owner had unfortunately passed away, and the boat was up for sale. We took her on. Looked amazing condition, but we didn't really know because we couldn't take her into the water to do any water tests. So she was stuck in the boatyard, and you needed a 6-metre tide to get her in, and a 200-ton crane to lift her over the boat next to her. So it was a big adventure, but she did float, and we got her down here. And then we've replaced everything on the boat over the last 10 years. And we've got four kids. So we thought we needed a boat that had accommodation. She was built as a club boat, so she was originally accommodating 12 guests. So unusual for a classic boat to have such a big internal space. So she's 24 tons, which means you've got 24 cubic metres of displacement underwater. She looks after you in a storm. She's strongly built, and I think she's a stunning shape. There's something about her shape that everyone looks at and thinks that's just an amazing boat. And she's a one-off, so you don't see any other boat looking quite like Lutine.
But for some, the road to owning a classic boat was different and led to a big project.
I was actually given it in 2016 by a really kind gentleman called David Sheriff, who he'd had a boat called Jap, and I think he'd won this event in that and renovated that. He found this boat, bought it because it was the first boat he ever sailed, and he was going to renovate it, and he decided that was probably a step too far, having done one. And I just saw him one night, and we were chatting about boats, and he said, "I've got this boat, I think you'd quite like it, and if you want to come and have a look at it, you can have it and renovate it, because I'll know you'll do it." So he lived up near Reading, so I went up and saw it one day, and saw the hull and just immediately fell in love with the shape. I couldn't look in the inside because all the deck had plywood screwed down over it, but I just thought, no, I love that. And so we arranged to have a cradle made, and then got it delivered back to our boatyard in Cowes. Then took the plywood off the top and thought, oh God, what we got here? So it was basically structurally unsound, so we had to replace every frame and every timber. And the planking was good, the backbone was good. We did put a new stern post in it, so, and obviously the ballast keel was fine, but basically everything else is new.
Right.
A
So
new on a boat that is how old?
she was built in 1926, so she's 100 years old. Well, the original bits are, but and we just decided we'd have a dock party just to celebrate it. Although it was a busman's holiday, I really enjoyed doing it. I got some of the lads help me with the more heavy duty stuff like splining the hull and sheathing it.
How long did it take?
It basically took 6.5 years before she was ready to launch. So we had it outside the shed in the tent, and after, I don't know, 4 years, the tent destroyed itself in a lot of breeze one day. So we moved it into the workshop, and then we had COVID. So basically, in COVID, I did the whole of the inside of the boat.
Right.
Because I go into work and there was a little bit of email traffic, but there was nobody working or anything. And so I had all these days on my own just working on Harlequin, and that was great. I'd phone up Laurie Boer at Lallows and say, could you leave a couple of sheets of plywood outside, trying to stick to all the COVID stuff. And so that was a great help. And then, we just gradually came together. And then you do all the hard work, the hull and all that's hard work, and then you start on the nice woodwork and the inside, and then think about the deck gear. And I decided that I wanted a really, really sort of modern, nice, easy to use fit out, because I wanted to race it and I wanted to be nice to sail. I know you can do that with modern classic box and everything, but I looked at the fittings we've got on there now, the Harken Black Magic stuff, and thought they look really nice, and she's really good to sail.
There's no shortage of opinions on how to rebuild a classic either.
Yeah, so you're on the Yacht Miquette on our now, or Black Hour as they know me, and we bought it from Duncan of fairly restorations in Hamble Point Marina.
And she's a
She's a
12
metre
12
5,
metre.
1933, and it's completely restored. It's trick as broom. So we've got it's the original keel, and I've lofted everything. Made the mast, made the boom, made the deck, replanked it, reframed it, and subdecked it, but genturised it and put hydraulic aids on it. I keep her in Paul Boathaven, and I do the regattas. She's been in the water now for about 8 years, and it took about 6 years to reconstruct. And I reconstructed it, which Duncan said you shouldn't do, because these lunatics don't want winches with tailors. They want wooden blocks. That's a load of bollocks. You've got to take 15 crew off of this boat, or you'll never sail them, because you can't get the crew, and it just turns into a nightmare. So what I did, I used the technology which was available at the time. After I framed her and planked there, splined it, sheathed it, and copied that Spirit Yacht design which you see in front of us. So basically, it is a composite boat with epoxy, Sikaflex, etc., etc. I looked at the planks yesterday, and we had a hard day, and no, the planks didn't open up. I've been sailing on Velshida for many years, and I cut my teeth with a Royal Highness on the Bloodhounds and Vanity 5, another 12 metre. Learned how to sail with Alan Bond and did property development with that guy. So I've been around for a while and learnt the techniques of epoxy, Sikaflex and stainless steel fastenings. And I think this game is fooled by people want originality, but they don't want to use the facilities. And if you see that, before Elizabeth May got hold of Velshida, and I was on with Scrap Iron John, and I introduced him, and he planked up and bodged it, and I was one of the bodgers that bodged it up. But the new owners now, if you look at, they've got carbon fibre sails, rod rigging, bow thrusters, etc., and they're an absolute delight to sail. Absolute delight to sail. I think anyone restoring a craft of this ilk, and you want to be terrified, and this is a terrifying boat to sail, if you don't take advantage of those material, you're a fool.
A difference of opinion was also evident aboard another elegant meter boat, but in this case it was about her name, or at least how you should pronounce it.
My name's Mark Dowie, and I'm standing on the back end of my lovely yacht, Bojar.
Boja, you see, someone told me it was Boa today. One of your crew, actually.
When I bought her, we had a whole load of people from Lewington, fondly known as the Limos. They call her Boyar, but that sounds so yar that all us Devon people call her Bojar.
That sounds better to me. Yeah,
it does.
So tell me what she is. She's beautiful.
Thank you. She's a 10-metre cruiser racer, built in Oslo, 1937, by Johan Anker, and who was also her designer. So the same man who designed the International Dragon, and she's like a big dragon.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. And how long have you owned her?
6 years. She was, if I'm honest, a bit of a COVID purchase. I was chief executive of the RNLI, and we were in the middle of the COVID saga, and I thought I need some fun in my life too, so I bought this boat. When you own something like this, you're a bit of a custodian. It's like owning a bit of furniture, and you continually changing things, improving things, as my predecessor did. Right. And so we'll hand her on in good shape. I enjoy looking after her, making sure she's going to see us into the next 50 years or so. She's 90 years old next year, and she's in better shape probably than she was 20 years ago, and that's important to me. I've got a great crew. They're all, so no one on the foredeck is younger than 70, but there are many America's Cups between them, so they all know what they're doing, and it's a friendly, happy, quiet boat.
A friendly crew was very much in evidence for my ride during the pursuit race aboard the Spirit CR51 IO of Dartmouth.
We've owned IO for 3 years. We built IO for the Fastnet race, I think 2023, horrific.
That was a breezy one, wasn't it?
Was
That
a breezy
start.
one. And I'd never done anything like that before. And we had crew on board who'd never done anything like that before, 8 of us. We had tried to do all the qualifiers in a chartered boat, and it kept letting us down. So Karen from Spirit knew that I had my heart set on a Spirit, so she contacted me with IO just in the nick of time. We went to see her in Dartmouth, and Stephen and I both fell in love. And we bought her. We hadn't even taken her for a test sail.
Really?
We bought her very quickly. She arrived in Cowes, and 3 days later we took her on the Fastnet race. So we did the classic event the year after. I helmed then, and a lovely friend of mine who sadly died last year, she was the inspiration behind me actually taking the helm. I didn't take the helm on any of our previous boats.
Oh, really?
I was always nervous. I don't really like driving, and I have a real strange relationship with distance. I think my distance perception is a bit. But she said, you've got to helm your boat, Chippy, and she's right. So I did 2 years ago, and I did today. Last year I was sick, so I lost my hands, the feeling in my hands a little bit, but that is coming back. So today was quite an achievement.
Now, of course, you look at all these beautiful boats, and the other thing that goes through your mind is, how much do they cost? Well, in a lot of cases, quite a lot. I mean, let's face it, they're expensive boats to run and maintain. But it doesn't have to be like that. And actually, there's some examples here at this event of a much more affordable way of getting into the classic scene. And one of them is with these boats called the Stella. And I'm going to go and chat to someone who knows a fair bit about it because, well, he's right at the sharp end of putting them together. It's Andrew Gilmore. Andrew, hi. Pleased to meet you. This is your boat, isn't it?
It
Samoa.
is, yeah.
And you tell us about, first of all, tell us about the Stella class.
The Stella class, there were 110 built on the East Coast back in the late 50s, early 60s. There are about 70 of them left. So, yeah,
Right.
Kim Holman design, built as a fast cruiser racer in the day, and still are.
And you've been telling me that you've been collecting them. Well, sort of collecting them.
Well, the class realised that some of these boats were getting lost to the bonfire or the chainsaw. So we decided that when we realised where they were, we'd go and pick them up. I'm the mug who goes with the trailer and picks them up. In Suffolk Yacht Harbour on the East Coast have very kindly stored them for nothing. And then we've saved 9 boats so far. 5 of them have been taken up by new owners, restored and put back into commission. And we've still got 4 or 5 left for anybody who wants them.
And you were telling me earlier on, some of them you can have for free.
For sure, yeah. There's 1 or 2 that we want a small amount of money for, so that we can fund collection of more boats. But there are boats there that you can have for nothing, and if you've got some DIY skills, you're up and going.
That's remarkable. I mean, but what does it? So where's the catch? What does it take? I mean, how would you go about rebuilding it? Have you got to be a master craftsman or have deep pockets to have someone else do it?
Depends what you want to do. If you wanted to give it to Suffolk Yacht Harbour or somewhere similar and do a whole job, ready to race like a new boat, you could be 70,000. If you did like I did mine, I'd probably cut that in half by doing a lot of the work myself. Or there's some of the boats that are actually ready to go, and with a couple of thousand maybe, you'd be going.
Really? Well, that's fantastic. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking boat, but they're pretty competitive as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we were second overall in Round the Island race, and a few years ago we were third overall. So they compete with the modern boats, and yeah, that's fine.
And where's the bulk of the fleet? It's East Coast.
East Coast, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there are a few strewn around the country, but most of the boats are on the East Coast. We've got 9 boats out for a regatta at Albury Week this year, so that's good. And there's a little bit of a resurgence going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's great to hear. As I say, it's a gorgeous looking boat. I can't get over the fact you can have a classic boat for free. He did say that on camera, didn't he? Classic boat for free. I wasn't expecting that story. The last word has to go to one of the key architects of this event, Giovanni Belgrano. A successful competitor himself with his Laurent Giles sloop Whooper, his views on what makes this event successful are not only interesting, but will no doubt send a message to others that are struggling to maintain or develop their own events.
And it all started exactly on these docks 24 years ago. We were 9 of us. We founded the BCYC, and it was all about the yachts being alongside each other, and then the owners all get along absolutely great, talking completely diverse mix of people off the boat, but when you get the boats alongside each other, everyone can't get enough time talking about their own boat, learning about the other boat, and just form this community almost.
Did you know that was going to be the case? Is that what you sought out to do to start with?
Yes.
Or did you? Oh, you did.
Well,
You
it
sensed
was all started off from after the Jubilee Regatta.
Yeah.
I was actually on my number one favorite boat, Stealth, and but there were so many unbelievable classics here that we were all walking up and down the docks. I was photographing all the fittings, all the details, and I bought Whooper straight away after that. And then I met the other founders, 2 in particular, who were very keen on the idea of starting the British Classic Yacht Club. So it started from that. We saw how magic it could be, and we said maybe we can do something like this of our own here in the UK.
Without looking at any particular events, but there are events all over the world now that are struggling because numbers are going down, and they're looking at it going, what's going on? And do you think there are lessons that can be learned from this event that would help events around the world? Do you think we're sort of in the middle of a change? Maybe?
Well, definitely. I mean, times are hard in the world. You know, it's the cost of living and all these people are very time poor as well, cash poor. So we used to do a lot with ABCYC, sailing in company, going for a weekend to the Bewley or Portsmouth or things like that, and even to France. And people don't have that time anymore, so that's gone. This is the only thing we can manage, and we've cut it down to 5 days instead of 6, again, because people don't have that time. So, yeah, you just have to keep it as efficient as you can, yeah. You have to be in tune with the times.
Yeah.
Be cost effective, be nimble, be light. And the key thing is we run this regatta on the dynamic plan. So we carefully change our plan based on the circumstance. We're light on our feet, and as you can see, you know, yes, the starts have the wind is later, so we start later and we party later.
The other thing that strikes me about this event, when you look at the range of boats that you've got, is that you're not restricted to boats with particular provenance, so they haven't got to be traditional classics. I mean, you've got spirits, you've got fiberglass boats.
Yes.
I mean, how did you, what's the rationale for that?
The GRP thing, we brought them in when I came in, on the basis that we would control it very carefully. We only do it by invitation. They have to be qualified, so pre-1970 or of a certain classic look. But we limit the number. This year we have allowed 6 yachts to come. We've had a lot more inquiries, and we carefully pick them. It's not just the boat; it's also the spirit with which they come. They try and be classics. You look at Scherzo and Nora, and they're all coming in with the right spirit of the regatta.
Finally, I can't let you go without asking you how you got on your boat.
We actually really enjoyed it again. It was today was a lot of shore tacking, and I worked with Peter on these things, and I told him in his first morning meeting, I said,
This is Peter, the race officer.
Peter Saxton, and we basically banned them to make us shore tack up the green as a fleet or as a class. But I said, if there's one day where we can do it, it's today, because if you think the small boats can make it against the tide, we're not afraid of shore tacking, because basically the race, this format that we've come up with, this time pursuit, the first part is basically a match race. You're trying to catch the boat in front of you, which is a tiny bit lower handicap, and the guy behind you is trying to pass you. So you're doing a very safe one-on-one match race, roughly. You try and get out of phases. So it's a different experience. We're trying to make different sailing experiences, and this is the only chance we really get to safely race the whole fleet against each other, including shore tacking up both the island shore on the green as well as the Lipspit shore by the mainland.
So, a diverse fleet, an innovative approach, and social events geared to inspire crews to talk boats and share stories. It seems so obvious on paper, and in reality, it was.